Hello, DGens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes Live Golf Update. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Thank you for joining me here as we do we do have more news regarding Live Golf, and it doesn't get this drama is just so unbelievable. You really can't write it no matter how hard you try, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Let me pull up. There we go. This coming from ESPN, Mark Schleyback saying the PGA Tour files motion in federal court to keep 3 live golfers out of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Obviously, FedEx Cup playoffs this weekend. There are 3 golfers that are on the LIV Tour that are eligible, and they filed a motion last weekend asking for a temporary restraining order in order to play in the FedEx Cup tournament. Those 3 being Taylor Gooch, Matt Jones, and Hudson Safford. The PGA does file the motion in court to keep them out. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They 3 golfers filed the restraining order, last week, while Phil Mickelson, DeChambeau, and 8 others also put in for the antitrust lawsuit saying that PGA is unlawfully keeping them out of the tour and they are trying to act as a monopoly. The PGA does go on to say later in the article, let me go ahead and pull it up for you here. Essentially, that playoffs in action that would harm all tour members that follow the rules. The antitrust laws do not allow the plaintiffs to have their cake and eat it too. Big words coming from the PGA here, who like to have their cake and eat it too, as they have all of this money from ad sponsorships and everything flooding in and not paying these golfers a livable salary. That is where this does get interesting, This is something that we see happen a lot in wrestling. In wrestling, the WWE is known for hiring their wrestlers as independent contractors, but they can only work for the WWE. That's interesting. That's interesting. It sounds a little bit like what we have here. The PGA Tour has these guys. They don't pay them. They're independent contractors. They can sign whatever deals they want for sponsorships and such. But you can only play on the PGA Tour. I understand why they are taking the stance that they are, especially after everything they've said about the LIV Golf Tour and everything and all of the suspensions and everything, essentially saying Phil Mickelson can't apply for reinstatement for another 2 years. This is just getting crazy. It's getting crazy. And Greg Norman was quoted about this, saying players have the right to play where they want to play. That's what I would be saying, too, if I was paying a couple $100 million for some players and wanted to keep them happy. Obviously, LIV evolving next year with 14 events requiring players to play in some international events. So they won't really need the PGA and these guys playing in the PGA in order for them to keep the name getting out there and the golfers to keep getting out there and stay in the world rankings, which is something that has been a point of topic for a while. However, not being allowed to play in the FedEx Cup, even having the requirements and everything, it's hard. It's hard. And I get why the PGA is doing it, but it's just not a good look. If you are the end-all, be-all of golf, this new company that has some fancy graphics, a different playing style, and trying to appeal to a different crowd, you shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be worried about one of these guys then coming in and beating Scheffler or Tom or any of those guys. I mean, you shouldn't be worried about them coming in and doing that because you have the best golfers. And if you don't have the best golfers, I mean, what is the FedEx Cup then? If you're not letting some of the best golfers in the world compete, is it really a competition for the best? Yes, it is, because you still have most of the best golfers, but why not let them in? Why not let them in? All of these, all of the majors that the LIV golfers have played, and they haven't played well. They haven't played well because they're used to playing the 3 rounds, the shotgun starts, etc., 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 and so they're not used to playing these 4-day-long tournaments anymore. Why would you? Why would you? So go ahead. If they want to come in at a disadvantage to your golfers, let them in. Show that PGA is still the best. And even when you go up against other tours, it doesn't matter because the PGA has the best golf no matter what. That should be the mentality you go into. But no. Instead, the PGA is going to play this legal battle with the LIV golfers. And honestly, optically, it's just bad for the PGA. It is so bad for the PGA considering these golfers left because they weren't getting paid enough from the PGA, and now they're stepping in. Now, there is arguments that the guys like Phil Mickelson, DeChambeau, they're making a fine living in the PGA. Yes, absolutely, but they weren't for a long time. They weren't until they were winning majors. They weren't until they were winning tours. They weren't until they were making the cut. And now they have the opportunity to go make all this money. And they don't have to play a grueling PGA schedule. They don't have to make sure they stay in the top 125 to keep their tour membership. They don't have to jump through all these loops. They have a guaranteed paycheck and bigger pots. It's hard to slam these golfers for leaving for all that money when the PGA keeps playing games like this. And yes, the PGA has taken some steps in advance. They have increased the number of no-cut tournaments, increased the pot size and everything like that. But it's not enough. It's not enough. The young blood is your pipeline to the future. If you don't have any young golfers, which LIV is starting to already target with saying the NCAA champion has the opportunity to go play in the relegation tournament. All these young golfers are going to have the opportunity, all the really talented young golfers are going to have the opportunity to go over there and make generational wealth for them and their families, something they could have never seen before. And they're supposed to just go for history? I'm a baseball fan, so I'm all about history and tradition and everything, but the times have changed. Times have changed, and that's why you're seeing baseball go through so many changes. Golf hasn't changed much in the 100 years it's been around. All these other sports are changing and evolving, and it's time for the PGA and golf to really get on that same level. Because if they don't, there is an opportunity for LIV to step in and take all of the good golfers. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I love watching the PGA on Sundays. I love it. I love parlaying a NASCAR winner, a NASCAR top 5, and the PGA winner that Sunday. I love doing it. But if you're going to keep playing these legal games, I mean, in the scope of things, you're a big corporation going after just a couple guys. I mean, is it really worth that type of legal battle, that type of bad PR to just make sure 3 guys don't play this year? Let them play. They won't play next year because they won't be tour eligible. So let them play this year, have them wipe out in the first round, and just be done with it. Don't get into this huge legal battle. Don't do that because it's just bad PR. I'm not a fan of it. And again, this is just strictly from a sports point of view, not taking any of the outside stuff into consideration. Just from a sports and sports league point of view, it is not good for LIV to be picking on the quote-unquote little guy. Now, yeah, the little guys are getting paid tens of millions of hundreds of dollars, but you're still a huge corporation, nonprofit corporation, that is picking on the little guy. And, you can keep fighting, but eventually, I don't know if the public's going to be on your side. And let's be really clear about something, PGA. The LIV is not going after your traditional golf fans. They are not. Everything is set up for people of my generation and younger who have short attention spans, who don't want to watch 8 hours of golf for 4 days straight, who maybe just want to turn on 3 hours of golf and watch it because, hey, it's quick, it's fast. I know some of the guys. We'll see what happens. I can bet on it. LIV is not going after your demo. I promise you, PGA. So let's go ahead. Let's take a breather. Let's reset. And let's stop acting like children about this, all right? And let's not make this a legal battle every single week against these players. It's ridiculous. So I don't know what's going to happen. They're probably not going to play. The hearing for their injunction, temporary restraining order is Tuesday, so we will keep an eye on that. I'll have something about that tomorrow when we do hear a ruling. And to make sure you stay up to date on the rulings, like, share, subscribe down below, turn on notifications, follow us on Twitter at DGenTakes. That's how we post everything. Follow me at Twitter at Brofict1. I always love commenting on LIV out there. And, we have merch now. Help support the show. Buy some merch down below. And with that being said, this is getting crazy. This is getting like teenage drama type crap, but I'm here for it. I'm down for it. If this is making golf exciting again, so I'm all about it. With that being said, I've been the Brofict1 AJ, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.